Live from Buffalo, it's Jim Pastrick.
Oldies 104.1, good times, great oldies. Hi, it's Jim Pastrick. You know, there's so many great voices in rock.
Jim Pastrick began his professional radio journey in 1968 as a weekend announcer at WBNY-FM and morning announcer newscaster at WMMJ-AM, Lancaster, New York. In 1973, it was nights and weekends at WYSL-AM. And in the summer of that year, Jim was hired at WKBW as a summer replacement all-night DJ.
Jim Pastrick on KB15, your great American music machine.
Bobby Goldsboro, some of the first time, KB15, your great American music machine.
Mentored by Jeff Kay, he also worked as an associate feature producer for the Buffalo Bills radio network and later transitioned to production director. In 1975, Jim became program director at Oldies 1550 WBVM Utica.
I first ran into Jim, and we were in our early 20s. We hung around with a bunch of guys that were all on different radio stations, and we'd hang around together. And we were all in our early 20s, except Santella, who lied about his age. But I knew from the beginning that Jim was going to be a star because he was good at everything he did. He was a good radio announcer. He understood the music and enjoyed it. He was a great production director. And he was a program director. He did record shows. He did talk shows. In retrospect, that's probably not surprising because he knew how to talk. But he excelled at all that. I mean, that's a quadruple threat. Not only was he good at all of those things in a business that we know was very difficult to hold things together financially, and he was also a family man, which, as we also know, doesn't always work out, but it worked out for Jim. And you know, I mean, he was in my world, Jim Pastrick was a great success because he could do all those things, hold it all together, and still have a sense of humor and be a good guy and be dependable.
He returned to Buffalo in the summer of '78 as production director and weekend DJ at QFM 97, which later became 97 Rock.
Jim Pastrick.
Classic Hits 104.1, WHTT, Memphis and Motown Monday.
That sounds great.
In 1985, he joined WNYS-FM as afternoon drive air personality and production director, also holding those positions when the station became WHTT-FM Classic Hits in September '86. Rich Communications in 1990 offered an opportunity to return to 97 Rock as air personality and production director, as well as feature producer for WGR and the Buffalo Bills radio network. In 1995, he became program director of WGR News Radio 55, a position he held through 2000.
Let me share a few memories about Jim Pastrick with you. First off, there's no truth to the rumor that he has a portrait of Dorian Gray hanging in his attic. He's always looked young. We were in college together in the 1960s, if you can imagine that. Jim went to Buffalo State. I went to UB. Jim worked for WKBW as Dr. Don Wade. I worked at PhD as Jim Santella. After work, we'd meet at the locker room and argue for hours about radio programming. Even in those days, Pastrick had a pervasive knowledge of broadcasting. He even had a first-class license. Now, what that meant is that he could fix the equipment as well as use it. He could tell you the tower height of a 250 daytimer in Ames, Iowa. What makes Jim such a great broadcast professional and friend is his willingness to share his abilities with all of us. I'm so glad we can return the favor by awarding him a place in the Buffalo Broadcasters Hall of Fame. Congratulations, Jim.
Jim returned to WHTT and 97 Rock in the early 2000s, working on air, in production, and as feature producer for the Buffalo Bills radio network, all the while doing freelance production for stations and clients. Jim has earned a reputation as a top professional in both the art and science of radio, and he's always been happy to share his knowledge and skills with coworkers and to encourage and mentor newcomers in the business. And that's why the Buffalo Broadcasters are proud to induct Jim Pastrick, a true professional, an outstanding broadcast talent, and even better family man and friend, into the Buffalo Broadcasters Hall of Fame class of 2017.
I was so much older.